What really motivates us to behave ethically? This is a question posed in Plato's Republic, and he uses the story of Gyges' Ring to help us reflect. The story is as follows. According to an old Greek legend, Gyges was a shepherd who worked for the king. One day, a great storm broke out, and an earthquake made an opening in the earth at the place where Gyges was feeding his flock. Stooping to look in, he discovered a gold ring on the finger of an ancient corpse. He took the ring. Later, as Gyges was sitting with his fellow shepherds, he twisted the ring on his finger, turning its face inward to his palm. Instantly, he became invisible to his friends, who began to speak of him as if he were no longer there. He was astonished at this, and giving the ring another twist, he reappeared. Before long, Gyges, our humble shepherd, used his new power of invisibility to seduce the queen. Then, with her help, he snuck up on the king, killed him, and stole his kingdom. The ring made Gyges invisible, protecting him from the consequences of his actions. Free from any fear that he might get caught, Gyges used his new power to full personal advantage. So, what's the moral of the story? The story of Gyges' Ring poses to us this question. If we were shielded from the consequences of our actions, how would that change the way we would act? Would anyone who had Gyges' Ring be able to resist the temptation to use that power selfishly? Would we act morally, even if we knew we could get away with our crimes? So, at first glance, the moral of the story of Gyges seems to be this, that deep down, we believe that acting unjustly is far more profitable, satisfying, and fun than being just. The story seems to suggest that we all tend to pursue our own self-interest, and that we would all be willing to seduce and betray if we thought we could get away with it. In Plato's dialogue, those who believe this say that the wisest among us wish to be but not seem unjust. And so their answer to the question, why do we act ethically, they would say is because basically we're afraid of getting caught. We all want to do bad stuff, but we don't want to be caught doing it. So what keeps us from acting unethically is not that we believe that seducing and betraying will ruin us, but that we're afraid of developing a bad reputation or being otherwise punished if we were caught. If we could hide our face from others the way Gyges used to turn the face of his ring inward, we would gladly pursue a life of selfish crime and enjoy the benefits without a second thought. But Plato didn't believe this. He believed that there were those who would choose to be good simply for the sake of being good and the reward that that brings. And so he offered a different moral for the story, one that is diametrically opposed to this view that a bad person could be as happy or perhaps even happier than a good person. To refute those who said that, Plato tried to prove that we can never be truly happy unless we're living a virtuous life. Plato argued that the purest and most secure form of human happiness consists in tranquility, or peace of mind, or spiritual harmony, or perhaps a good conscience. This, Plato said, is a joy that cannot easily be wrested from us. Plato suggested that injustice leads to a life of inner turmoil and chaos. If the just life leads to a harmony of the soul, whereas the unjust life leads to disharmony, and if harmony of the soul is a good description of true happiness, then Plato's argument is good. Here's Plato's conclusion. Can it profit anyone to acquire much gold unjustly if, by doing so, he enslaves the best part of himself to the most vicious. If he received his prize by enslaving his son or daughter to savage and evil men, it wouldn't profit him at any price.